You knew this would be hard. You knew the training was rough, that sleep would be almost laughable at times. Maybe even had an idea of what you were getting yourself into when you decided to become a doctor. But these moments, when the stress builds to the point where you feel it in your chest, when the anxiety puts your confidence in a blender and walks away with a cryptic smile, when you're on call again, but you're exhausted. Knowing that when this shift ends, you have to pick up that ever-growing to-do list, maybe finish charts, try to do laundry, shave, or maybe just keep the 5 o'clock shadow, because who even knows where the razor is? And soon, very soon, do it all over again. More to-dos, more people needing things from you, need to get ready for clinic, surgery, or another shift in the ED. Maybe you have to go back on call. The question of how are you going to get through this gets louder and louder. Times when the fatigue, overwhelm, and stress pile up like magnets. It can feel like that grueling rotation where you feel so out of place. Getting through another week of your job that you secretly want to leave, or that last hour of call. It can feel insurmountable. If this is how you're feeling, welcome. This short video could be exactly what you need to hear in this moment. So give yourself permission to spend just a few minutes here for you. They say that the last 0.2 miles of a marathon are the hardest. The irony of completing 99% of the race, being so close to the finish line that a bystander could say, "You're almost there, just keep going." But when it's you running that race, when your knees have felt every single step, your muscles cramped up a long time ago, and every step feels like a negotiation with your mind. Can I do this? Am I good enough? I'm tired. Finishing the last 0.2 miles, it can feel daunting. Fear creeps in, doubt grabs a microphone, and the negative thoughts turn into a theme song. First and foremost, press pause. Veer off to the water station. They're literally there because breaks are not only important, but required. And if you're on call, you're likely dehydrated, so take this moment to take a literal sip of water, or maybe 5. Hydrate, breathe. Literally right now, take a deep breath. Just that alone can signal to your body and mind to slow down, and that you do have some control, even if life right now feels like trying to stand in quicksand. Press pause right now, even if only for a moment. There is so much out of our control, but you can control the thoughts that you believe, how you feel about yourself, whether you walk away or try again. When life becomes chaotic and noisy, mixed in with sleep deprivation, put the blinders on, lean on your training, and break it down. Focus on one thing at a time. Regardless of other people's expectations, you literally can only be in one place at a time. So if you received yet another consult and your patient list is quickly growing, when needed, communicate with whomever consulted you. Sometimes a quick phone call or message to provide an update that things are a bit busy, but you will get there as soon as you can help quiet things down. It's not your fault if you're the only one on call and the consults are piling up. If it's not emergent and you know it's going to take a while or it has been a while, communicate. You'll be there as soon as you can. Fear and worry can be driven by the stories that we tell ourselves. What are they going to say about me? What if I get in trouble? Don't they know I'm busy? No, they simply may not know. And if you know that you're trying to do your best, give yourself some grace. It's not like you're frolicking in a field of daisies. You're working, you're hustling. You're probably hungry, but you're putting yourself to the side to try to help others. Give yourself grace. You can only be in one place at a time. So if you have many patients to see, prioritize and see the most acute, high priority patient and work your way down the list. You will eventually get to the end. You're not Houdini, so don't carry that burden. This call shift will end. The pager will eventually stop screaming and soon you'll be off call. When in doubt, when you know what hits the fan, remember that regardless of what happens, the clock keeps ticking and your break is coming. This is temporary. The finish line is near. But I understand that sometimes that isn't enough, so try this. If you have a moment where you can step away, you're not dealing with any emergencies, go to a call room or even the nearest bathroom. Close your eyes or keep them open, whatever works for you. But I want you to remember the pre-med you. Envision that. Remember what it took for you to get your acceptance letter, all of the studying, the anxiety every time you waited for your test scores to come out. And you remember organic chemistry, having to take the MCAT 3, 4 times, sacrificing those summers and night outs. The pre-med you that would give anything to be in your shoes right now. And you might say, but I didn't know it would be like this. And I hear you. This is hard. This moment is hard. Don't be ashamed of your emotions. Acknowledge them. Feel them. And I know this may sound a little woo-woo and maybe you didn't expect to hear all this in this video, but if you're still listening, I think it's because you need to hear it. Don't compare yourself to others because this isn't their race. And I think if the pre-med you could have looked into the future and saw you now, how far you have come already with that long white coat, scrubs, weaving throughout the hospital halls, wow, would they be proud. And probably relieved that they wouldn't have to take the MCAT again, but they haven't met the next board exam yet, and we'll leave that for another day. One of the most important traits of a good doctor, I believe, is not only what you know, but it's acknowledging and understanding when you don't know something. The courage to say, I don't know. We could be in training for 100 years and still not know everything. You're an imperfect human being, and sometimes it feels like being out in practice is residency 2.0. You're going to see things that you've never seen before, be in situations where you don't know what to do, and maybe even be yelled at by someone that you tried to help. If you don't know something, look it up. Ask a colleague. If there's time, reach out to a mentor that you trust. Consult a specialist. You are not weak for asking for help. You are navigating a challenging situation and making sure that the patient receives the best care possible. Trust your instinct, lean on your training, and never, ever be afraid to ask for help. If you know that you need to learn more about something, but you don't have the time to do it right now, write it down, and probably in your phone, so your tired mind doesn't have to keep track of another piece of paper. And once you're off call and rested, get your favorite coffee or tea and read about it. So the next time you can say, I saw this before. I know what this is, and now I know what to do. And guess what you're doing? You're growing, learning. An uncomfortable situation is making you better. The irony. For the moments when it feels like no matter what you do, the walls are imploding, I want you to know that you're not stuck. You are not defined by your badge or the 2 letters that follow your name. Yes, what you do is important, but it does not define you. And you're not alone. From one doctor to another, you're not alone. If it reaches a certain point and it feels like things are quickly tunneling and you need to get yourself out of this situation, don't be afraid to ask a colleague if they can take over and finish the shift so you can step away and safely get out of the situation to allow things to calm down, gather yourself, and breathe. You are not the first person to ask for help, and you won't be the last. This is hard. As my mom often told me, how do you, metaphorically speaking, eat a blue whale, bite by bite? When faced with an insurmountable circumstance, break it down into small digestible pieces, even if the first step is pulling out a new piece of paper or note card to write down the information of the new consult that you just received. Then stand up. Don't think about the 137 steps you have to take to finish this last hour of call. Break it down into the smallest pieces possible. Put your favorite music on and those blinders too. And remember, the clock keeps ticking. Support yourself. Remember to breathe, hydrate, eat, ask for help when needed. And please use the bathroom when you actually have to go. A screaming bladder isn't good for you. Not only can you do this, you already have. You're in motion. You've already gotten through 99% of this so-called marathon. This is the last 0.2, and you're gonna get to that finish line one step at a time. And the crazy thing about all of this is you may even look back at these difficult moments, connect the dots, and realize it made you better, smarter, and even add some coins in the confidence bucket. I'm gonna leave you with a quote that I think is fitting for all of the time, dedication, sacrifice, grit that comes with this profession. And it was said by Anson Durrance. The vision of a champion is someone who is bent over, drenched in sweat, at the point of exhaustion when no one else is watching. From one doctor to another, you got this. Thank you for what you do. Know that you're making a difference in someone's life. Focus forward, do the best that you can. And it's now time to leave the water station and get back to the track and do the damn thing. One step at a time. Send this video to somebody who needs to hear this. The vision of a champion is someone who is bent over, drenched in sweat, at the point of exhaustion when no one else is watching. and that champion is you. I'll see you at the finish line.